So I'm sitting here getting ready to do the video, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should raise the video so I look better. I look how I look for these videos, I suppose. I did comb my hair. We can clean up a little bit. I do have this beautiful, catamaran or whatever this bad boy is back here in the changing table too. We're real classy here at the Ministry of the Silent Serpent Slayer. I'm not sure about that name, but I'm gonna go with it. We are a different kind of ministry, a different kind of church. We are a church of prayer warriors first, but then also this is a very, very inclusive church. I read a lot of things in my research here about people with disabilities and their place in the church, mainly Down syndrome. You get a lot of Baptists screaming about the devil, I've heard a lot of people scream about the devil, man, I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and act like I've been a really good Christian my whole life, because I'll tell you straight up right now, I'm extraordinarily new. So I take it for what it's worth when it comes from me, but I looked at a lot of stuff that had to do with Down syndrome and how their people have been treated, how people have been treated by the church. And that's why I feel the need to start my own ministry, my own church, I would suppose, but only by name, because I don't know how I fit quite in with religion yet, and I've seen a lot of things that are wrong with it. I'm a very pessimistic person. I have viewed religion with a very pessimistic eye, so I'm just going to start. I asked for the prayer to start it, and then here we are. You do have a co-host for the show, Thomas Boone, my son, but he is currently engaged in watching his morning episode of Curious George, and I'm sure he will be by eventually. Thomas is not even 2, and he doesn't talk, so he's a great radio partner for me, or a TV partner, I suppose, right now, YouTube partner, video. This is my introduction. My name is Jeffrey McCuskey. I'm not going to call myself a pastor or a minister. The Silent Serpent Slayers, what I did was I stumbled into something I shouldn't have been stumbling into. And I continued to hurt myself in terrible ways for a very long time. And a lot of people that I love and a lot of people that I know, and really dragged a lot of darkness on myself and put a lot of problems in my life. And I have recently found my way out of that with some help from some very wonderful Christians and some very wonderful people in general. I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and say that if you're not a Christian and you're not this and that, no. People are people. You are who you are. What the Silent Serpent Slayers are about, and the ministry thereof, is about prayer warrior, and it's about giving people their heads back. It's about giving people a discernible difference between a spiritual attack and their own thoughts, because I came to understand through people who I did not see it coming. I'll be honest. The people who have taught me this, I thought, I'm not going to learn anything from these people, but you do. You learn a lot, and spiritual attacks, I found the only way I could really understand them is to have them stop, right? And have that difference and that clarity. I have had experiences, and I'm sure I'll get into them on the program here, but had some experiences in where I've changed, and then I've seen discernible changes, like big discernible changes, and even the skeptics in my life have seen these changes. Now, are they changes that I can continue on with for the rest of my life? I don't know. I've made some pretty drastic changes in my life that have stuck. Part of what got me on this journey was that I was an extremely obese man. I was 350 pounds, maybe even more. I stopped weighing myself on a scale that could really weigh me, and I was ready to die. I had heart problems. I had so many problems, and I got rid of that. So I've been 2 years free of sugar. Now, granted, I did jump into a whole lot of spooky spiritual yip-yap to get there, but I did do it. And I did do it technically under the banner of Christ. But what I didn't understand about Jesus and about faith is the darkness in the world. And I had been an incredibly dark person, a goth and all that, in high school, punk rocker, hardcore death rocker, metal. I can sing metal. I can do all of it. I'm even here right now. I'm wearing some fucking, oh, don't forget to see the skulls on my shirt. Whatever. The darkness is there. And so I think we have a lot of people now, in my world at least, that are very unknowing. Like, we do not respect the church. We do not respect the witches in this world. We don't respect the devil. We think the devil is just some game people play in their heads, and that, my friend, is not the case. You are engulfed in a spiritual battle for your very soul every day. Now, the Catholic Church. Here's the reason why I'm not sitting in a Catholic church right now. It's because the Catholic Church, I believe, serves a purpose, and it's a beautiful purpose. And in the Bible, I listened about the Jews, and I listened about the Catholics, and I listened about all these faiths, and I see all of them having an express purpose and a type of person that is served by that church. But the Catholic Church, in my research, as I was a conspiracy theorist. I am. None of that stopped. I just believe in the evidence before me. And all this stuff about the NSA, Snowden, and all the CIA and all that. It's the fucking Vatican. The CIA is the little brother to the Vatican. And any intelligence, it's all coming out of Israel and Rome. Not all. And then you have your nations. And so I thought, all right, well, my faith teaches me to trust my fellow brother, not to assume that there are these blood-drinking Satanists, because I know there are blood-drinking Satanists that think they run the world. So I don't know who it is at the top, and you know what? It doesn't matter, because here at the Church of the Silent Serpent Slayer, we empower men and women at the ground level. It won't matter about all that stuff, and that's why we probably won't talk about it so much on this program here, even though that's what it's all about. Because this program is going to be centered in a very different way. I don't like being so negative. Maybe I should change my shirt for the next video. Maybe I should drink a lighter brand of this product placement, Gold Peak Iced Tea. Oh, look, yeah, here it is. Can you see it? Yeah, there it is, folks. Oh, product placement. And on the Silent Serpent Slayer, that placement is just off screen. Heck of a product when you enjoy it. Anyway, this is just that rambling introduction video. I hope it's fun. I'll try to keep these short. Try to keep them at least as focused as possible, because all I'm talking about is spiritual attacks here. And what the Silent Serpent Slayers are, and why I decided to do the church. And then I put on my sunglasses and I said, God bless. No, I don't know. I don't want to have a lot of shtick. I just want to talk to people. A lot of these are going to be private videos. A lot of this is going to be one-on-one. If you need the Silent Serpent Slayers, you may only email us at gmail.com. silentserpentslayers@gmail.com. Tell your friends, because I know a lot of people are interested in this. But this process will only work if you are your own exorcist. You and your relationship with Christ will give you the authority over this darkness that will then alleviate the visions and the weird shit and the stuff, the poisonous thoughts you have. Because a lot of people have these really poisonous thoughts, and I had them too, and I believe that many of them, yes, they are us. You are not alleviated of all sorts of responsibilities in this Christian church, I'm afraid, but what you are done is you are shown what you are. And as a child of God, you need to understand who you are in relationship to sin and who you are in relationship to your world around you and your body, the flesh, which is always something, you saw those old preachers on the 70s TV with the little dribble of spit coming down talking about the flesh. Fucking creepy, man. A lot of stuff about religion is really creepy and sexual and about drugs and about power and like murder and blood. The Bible and this entire world is so crazy, man, and that I guess I just wasn't mature enough to look at it in a way that was real. I was looking at it in a very hyperbolic way. I was looking at it in a very way that was just about me talking and having fun and joking, like being funny, but there comes a time when you have to understand who you are and what you are, and what we are as far as from my readings, and a lot of this, my faith is going to be a lot overboard because I'm taken from ancient Judaism. The ancients were who they were. There was no Christianity back then. So I'm not telling people of ancient faiths that they're wrong. Of course you're not wrong, but I believe that we are creatures of two souls. I believe we have an animal part to us, And then I believe a lot of the stuff that comes in the Bible is talking about our soul, and about the way we evolved maybe even into this other creature. Adam is called in the Bible. And it's a very literal term, a person named Adam. And I'm no Bible scholar, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about how I know it's all real, but I believe that we are creatures of two souls. Whether this could be esoteric knowledge, this could be wrong, but I believe that sin comes from a battle between our higher calling and our higher purpose in Christ and our soul versus that animal that wants to eat, have sex, do drugs, masturbate all the time, looking at porn. We have a society that tells us it's okay to be animals, and there's a lot of sin out there to be had, and I don't think that any one of them is oh, you're going to fall down a rabbit hole, like when you smoke pot for the first time, the next day you're going to be sucking dick for crack, No. You masturbate to porn one day, and then you cheat on your wife and lose your family 10 years down the line. I don't know what it is, but it's a slippery slope, and it's one that I think the silent serpent slayers are here to say, we are in charge. We are in charge of understanding ourselves. We are in charge of understanding our place in Christ and in the church, which seemingly is fragmented and all this other crazy stuff, all these different religions, which is kind of what I was talking about, and how I read in the Bible one of the Psalms, and I see how bad I am at this, about how this guy was crying out about how the church was defiled and how he wanted God to come down and fix these problems, but that the church and its imperfections, and the Catholic Church in particular in its imperfection, how it serves a purpose for us, and that when we start looking too deep and we start looking into these problems instead of what we need to do for ourselves as solutions, that you're gonna see evil. You're gonna see it all the time. And if you don't understand your connection to the good, it's real easy to just lose. And so the silent serpent slayers are about forgiveness for ourselves first, because we understand the forgiveness that God teaches us. We understand our religion is the one that says that we are to wash the feet of our enemy. When you draw a picture of my God, I say thank you. When you draw a picture of somebody else's God, you might be murdered. Christian faith turns away all violent and anger and hate and all this negativity. We are here to be in Christ, and when you're in Christ, you're not worried so much about what the Catholic Church is doing with all that gold and money. I'm gonna end this because I had an interesting thought that changed my idea. I've been very anti-Israel with all this war coming out, and I'd been very anti-church for many years. And here comes my co-host. You ready to be a co-host? Anyway, the idea behind the tabernacle and why we give the Catholic Church their money and all this power is that we don't want it. What they do with it is really none of our business, because I don't have it in my life polluting this little guy. And that there's got to be a lot of crazy stuff going on in that church. You can only imagine the kind of spiritual attack they're under. So let's not worry about them today. Let's worry about ourselves and little things like this. This perfect little God's creature, he doesn't need to have anything shoved down his throat, but to have his daddy pray for him and to just be a happy day. And we're going to go have one. So God bless you. Say bye, Booney. God bless.